All right, picture this. You're part of a platform team in an organization that's growing faster than you can count deployments. You've got developers, tools, pipelines, compliance requirements all coming at you from different directions. Sounds a little scary. Well, it is. And over the past year, we've spoken to over 30 platform teams. Some are thriving, while others are struggling to keep their heads above water. The key difference? A few key insights. Hi, I'm Ships.
And hi, I'm Jed. And today we're excited to share the top 5 insights we've learned from platform teams we've spoken to. These teams came from a variety of industries: fintech, healthcare, retail, and others. And they served anywhere between 100 to 5,000 developers. We've gathered these insights from listening to these platform teams on how they navigate challenges, accelerate their application teams, and ultimately set themselves up for success. So let's dive in. The first insight is to prioritize pipeline standardization. Pipeline sprawl is real and it's messy. Imagine a pasta factory where every team builds their own pasta shape and expects it all to fit into the same bowl. That's what happens when engineering departments let CI/CD pipelines snowball without any standards. The platform teams get stuck in a maintenance and troubleshooting nightmare. They're spending all their time firefighting, and no one wants that. The most successful platform teams make pipeline standardization a priority. They create templates that not only make it easier for developers to deploy, but also ensure consistent practices across the board. By providing these standardized blueprints, platform teams reduce cognitive load for developers and save themselves countless hours of troubleshooting. An Octopus user shared this goal with us. My dream goal of this is that we get to a situation where a team member could set up something new and into production in 10 minutes rather than spending a whole week. And another platform engineer shared how their team gets credibility. What we really want is just a consistent way for existing apps to build and deploy. And then we also want a very low friction way to onboard new applications. And I feel like that's the way we get our credibility. That's what gets the people who aren't engineers excited by telling them you can get new things faster. So that's one of the key areas we need to deliver. So this result of getting new things faster speaks to how pipeline standardization ultimately leads to innovation.
Our second insight today is that we should be building flexibility into the platform without compromising compliance. Now, who here loves compliance? No one. But whether we like it or not, compliance requirements are actually a critical part of our job. And so a common mistake that a lot of platform teams make is treating compliance as an afterthought. It's kind of like adding toppings to a pizza after it's been baked. So the best platform teams make compliance part of their pizza. Sorry, I meant architecture from the very start. And they don't just say we'll add security checks later. Instead, they embed compliance controls into their standardized pipelines and processes from day one. These can include things like automated vulnerability scans, secrets management, approval workflows, audit logging, and more. And having these built in ensures that every deployment meets standards without application teams having to lift a finger. Your developers will love the internal platform when they can get to production without spending weeks in a change approval processes to get their compliance checked off. A frustrated platform team member from a financial payments business shared with us. He said, "We have some PCI environments where any significant change to an application requires a new security scan. So how do I know when that needs to happen? We really need a way to surface significant changes to security so that they can go do a scan." And this highlights that importance of compliance in their organization. Also, This year's annual Puppet State of DevOps report highlighted a couple important points when citing some data under the evolution of platform engineering at large organizations. Today, I'd like to share two. First, 60% of the organizations surveyed as part of that report said that a key benefit for leveraging platform engineering was the built-in security and compliance. And secondly, the primary goal for organizations are increasing productivity and speed of delivery without compromising compliance. They mentioned in the report that it is actually the number one thing that developers expect as a benefit of starting to use their internal developer platform.
The next insight we learned was that successful teams build a platform roadmap to achieve a business outcome. One anti-pattern we saw was starting your first platform initiative with an internal developer portal like Backstage. This results in months of integration effort, which doesn't guarantee any tangible improvements in reducing costs or increasing efficiency. Simply centralizing without tying it to an ongoing initiative of business value can result in disappointment and ultimately possibly shutting down the project. In this case, what's trending isn't always the right solution from the outset. We know it seems obvious, but a platform team has to start with building a solid understanding of the priorities within their company and the goals they're trying to achieve. For example, a company might be trying to reduce the cost of hardware maintenance through containerization. In that case, tying the platform roadmap to accelerate adoption of container stacks is a win-win. As an example, we'll share an internal initiative from Octopus. Our foundations group is aligned to investing in developer experience improvements that boost team efficiency and productivity. This foundations group decided to focus on a few key metrics as their North Star. And these are metrics that impact our developer experience internally. As a result, this helped them identify bottlenecks and fully automate our delivery pipeline, and ultimately reduced our lead time for changes by 50%.
So the fourth insight for today is that planning for day 2+ is essential. Now, once a developer platform has been built, it has been within an organization, it's solved the challenge of providing some starter templates and enabling developers to standardize on your golden pods. Some platform teams will consider their jobs done. But a few months later, when a new security check a new security check needs to be rolled out to all of those development teams, the platform teams have to resort to manual and people processes to actually make that happen. And it's actually a huge time sink and introduces risk for human error. Successful platform teams know that they're actually running a marathon. They create effective long-term strategies to quickly roll out and maintain changes to their golden pods. And a lot of that development effort around building your internal developer platform is actually spent in writing the automation that reduces drift from any standardized pipelines. And it also allows that platform teams to enforce ongoing and new changes as they come up. From an Octopus user who is making changes at scale, we heard, we're looking at several hundred code repositories, and every single one of them is going to have a pipeline dedicated to that repository. That's a lot of things to manage. And if we need to change a line, we now have to change 300 lines.
The final insight we want to leave you with is that getting to 100% adoption for any developer platform is a pipe dream. Chasing full adoption of a platform across the company is a pretty huge mountain to climb. First, because your platform will not be able to satisfy the needs of every team. In fact, in some cases, that could be too limiting. For example, imagine a labs team experimenting with future bets and ideas. Making use of the developer platform mandatory for a team like this could really limit their speed of innovation. Secondly, you hit a point where the long tail of small gains doesn't really justify continued investment. An example here being the automation of heritage pipelines, this kind of thing might not provide much benefit. A better approach is to define the use cases your developer platform should solve for, and then estimate how many developers in your company would be eligible to benefit from this platform. And this becomes your eligible user base. Then be clear about which teams will not need to use your platform, and set realistic goals based on the data you've got. Aiming for 70 to 80% adoption of your eligible user base is likely a pretty good start. A platform engineer shared their situation of how app teams approach adoption differently. There are teams who'll jump at it, my early adopters. I absolutely know who they are by name. And then I have teams who've been doing the same thing for 15 years and don't want to change anything. So this speaks to the nuances of gaining adoption of a developer platform and how different application teams have different needs.
To summarize and wrap up, our top 5 insights that we highlighted for you today was: first, prioritize pipeline standardization. Second, build in flexibility without compromising compliance. Third, align your platform roadmap to your business outcomes. Fourth, planning for day 2+ and rolling out changes is essential. And last, getting to 100% adoption is not realistic. Plan for realistic goals.
So there you have it. 5 insights learned from talking to 30 platform teams. Even if you're not part of a platform team, we think these insights apply to any group facing technical or operational challenges. It's not about avoiding issues, it's about having effective strategies to tackle them. Thanks so much for your time.